Hello, I want to welcome you to Leadership Theory and Practice. I'm so excited to be a part of this session with you, to go through these next few weeks with you, and to dive into a topic that I love, talking about leadership, talking about ministry, and how those two things come together. Now, this is just going to be a really quick introduction, just to give you some very basic, bare bones information to get you started. Everything that you will need is in the syllabus. And obviously, if you have any questions, I'm here to help you. So let me introduce myself real quick. So I am Dr. Brandon Party Cooper. I have worn many hats over the years. There are many things that I've done. Primarily, though, I've been a pastor. I've pastored for 25 years, various areas of church ministry, been involved in lots of different churches, from churches down to 50 all the way up to 3,500. Been on staff with around 60, all the way down to just me and the lead pastor. So I've been a part of a lot of different church contexts as well as university settings, some leadership development, directorship opportunities. And I've also authored a book. I had the opportunity of going through that process of authoring a book and getting it on the bookshelves, and going through that, and going through that whole process was very exciting, very eye-opening, and I learned a lot. And I was able to check off one thing on my to-do list for life, and that is to author a book. But most of all the things that I've done over the years, that I love the most, it's teaching and developing leaders. And so I'm so excited to be in this course with you, and to be jumping in and spending some time over these next few weeks talking about leadership and talking about ministry. So a little bit about my family. I have three wonderful boys. They are exciting boys. They are full of energy. They are climbing on everything, running everywhere, tackling everybody. And it's been so much fun to watch them grow up. So they're growing, they're developing, they're into their own sports and interests and things that they love to do. We are avid Chiefs fans. So I tell my boys all the time that they are very lucky because mom grew up in New England. And so early on in their lives, they were Patriots fans, and then now they are Chiefs fans, and so they don't really know what it means to lose. So I told them one day they will understand that, probably. So, but we're avid Chiefs fans. We love football. We love sports. We love hiking. We love just getting out and exploring, traveling, doing all kinds of things like that. So, okay, so let's talk about what our goal is over these next few weeks in this course, in leadership theory and practice. And our goal is to bring leadership and ministry together. That's really what our goal is. And there's two anchor points for me when it comes to this conversation. The first one is John Maxwell. The question, what is leadership? Well, leadership is influence, nothing more, nothing less. And there are many definitions of leadership. And you'll see that in our textbook. There's lots of different perspectives on leadership and definitions of leadership. And I think that when you cut all of the extra away, all the caveats, all of the qualifiers, when you take all of that away, at the end of the day, you can boil leadership down to one thing, and that's influence. John Maxwell had it right, and I have hung tight to that through all of my leadership education and books that I've read. I still hold on to the fact that leadership is influence, and you can add anything else onto that you want to, but at the end of the day, leadership is influence. At the same time, we need to understand what ministry is, and we see what ministry is. We find it in the Great Commission, and it's making disciples. It's going out and it's influencing people into a relationship with Jesus and discipling them to become like him. That's what ministry is. And so these are our two anchor points, leadership and ministry, and bringing those two together is our goal as we go through these next few weeks together. There are really three textbooks that you will need, and when I say need, I mean absolutely you will need them throughout this course. If you do not read them, you do not follow them, you do not have them, you will have a hard time in this course. And one is Leadership Theory and Practice by Norton. For me, this is a handbook that I hold on to pretty regularly. I reference it constantly. And I have a couple different versions of it, or different editions of it. I would say if you have an opportunity to get older editions as well as the current one, that would be beneficial, because every edition adds new elements, new theories, new perspectives. And so I would say if you do have the ability to get older editions, add it to your library because they will become a really rich leadership reference library for you. So, but the ninth edition is the one that we absolutely need right now. The second book is Lead So Others Can Follow. This book is a book written by one of my mentors, Pastor Jim Bradford. Dr. Bradford is an incredible individual, a very unique person, particularly from a ministry perspective. He, by education, he is a rocket scientist, but throughout his educational journey, God moved him into ministry, and he has pastored some incredible churches over the years and has served as the general secretary of the Assemblies of God for several years. And he now pastors Central Assembly in Springfield, Missouri, which is where him and I met. And we had the opportunity I had the opportunity to learn from him and be mentored by him. And I think there are many things about pastoral leadership that come into play. But the one thing that I appreciate about Pastor Jim, and I think is reflected in his book, is just this hunger and thirst for Christ and this desire to bring people closer to Jesus with a great understanding of what it means to lead well. And so his book, Lead So Others Can Follow, is, again, it's a mainstay for me. It's been a huge guide for me, and it is just a fraction of what Pastor Jim brings to the table, but it's a great book to read. And so we will be using these two books as well as the Bible. I'm not super picky on what version of the Bible you do choose. My personal recommendation and preference is the ESV. However, if you have a preference or you have a favorite Bible translation that you would like to use, that's fine. The only thing that I would say is stay away from paraphrase Bibles or even those that are leaning more towards a paraphrase. Stick with your word for word and thought for thought translations. Those are going to be better suited for what we are trying to do here in this course and really honestly in an academic setting. Okay, so a few tips for you to do well in this course. And these are not going to be hard, but I just want to make sure that we're on the same page of what I'm looking for as your instructor so that you will do well in this course and come out on the other end successful. The first is read your books. I kind of already mentioned this. This class leans heavily on your textbooks. Most of your assignments and conversations, it's all going to come straight out of the textbook. And so you're going to need to read the books. Stay up with your reading. I know there are going to be some weeks that's going to be a lot. So I would say read quickly and read as much as you can. And if you can get ahead, do it. Now, what I have done is I haven't just given chapters. When you look at your syllabus, you will notice that I have given page numbers, because the book is too dense. There's too much in it. And so what I've done is I've broken up into page numbers. And so follow the page numbers. Obviously you can read more if you would like to, but in order to stay up and to keep up with the course, you're going to need to just stay within the page numbers for now. Again, this is almost a reference book for leadership. So you're going to access it over and over and over again in the years to come. I would say for now, just stick with the page numbers that are given so that you're not reading the whole thing and you can keep up. The page numbers that are given that's where the discussion and that's where your assignments are going to come out of. And so stick with the page numbers in the syllabus. And if you're unclear, if the page numbers don't make sense, please let me know. I pulled them from the digital version of the book from the publisher. So if there is a slight possibility that the page numbers will not match your book. And then if you're reading it on Kindle or some other ebook format, then we'll have to talk through and get on the same page with that, because the page numbers are not going to match. So please, if you have questions, ask, and I will help you make sure that you're reading the right things and you're on track with that. The second thing you're going to need to do is ask questions. If you have any questions at all, please do not hesitate to ask myself, ask your peers. Do not do this in isolation. Do not do this by yourself. I want you to ask questions when you don't know. When you come across something you don't know, something that doesn't make sense, or something you're curious about, ask the question. we need to be good at asking questions, and we need to be comfortable and okay with that. So please do that in this course. Use it as a practice ground for doing that. But yeah, please ask questions. The third thing you're going to need to do is focus on your writing. This course really is reading and writing. It's really what it boils down to. So focus on your writing. You've heard it said that leaders are readers. Well, I would argue that leaders are also writers. Now, I'm not saying that everybody writes books and not everybody writes academic articles or anything like that, but we all write. Whether it's writing sermons, whether it's writing letters, whether it's journaling to ourselves and to God, whatever the case is, we are all writers, and we need to write well. We need to really put in the effort to craft and to exercise our writing skills. And so that's what this course is honestly going to be a lot about. How you write is going to largely impact your grade, because I want to see that you understand and that you can process through what you are coming in contact with and discussions you're having. I'm wanting to see that you can articulate yourself through writing. So please focus on writing. If writing is not a strength of yours, it's okay. Just do your best, apply yourself, and again, ask questions. And then the final thing that you will need to do is to think deeply. Your best learning happens when you think about things and you ponder them over and over again. I know for myself, when I came through high school, I really didn't try very much, and I just kind of floated through. And a lot of what we did uh, in high school was a lot of regurgitating information. When I got to college, that all changed, and I realized I was a really bad student because I did not know how to think very deeply. And so I quickly learned how to think and how to ponder things and how to process them over and over again, and to think very deeply, because I realized that I wasn't going to get very far if I was just regurgitating information. This course will not ask you to regurgitate information. It will ask you to think. It will ask you to process. It will ask what your opinion is. It will ask how you see certain things that we're talking about. So really spend time. Don't just read and then write. Read, spend time thinking about it and processing it, and then write. But those are the four things you're going to need to do. Read your books, ask questions, focus on writing, and think deeply. You do those things and you will do very well in this course. I am excited, very, very excited to get started, excited to get to know you, hear your stories, learn about your own journey and what's happening in your life, what God is doing and where he's taking you. You see my contact information here at the bottom. Please feel free to reach out to me. Please feel free to ask questions. I am here to walk you through this session. So do not hesitate. Don't ever think that you're bothering me or that I don't have time. This is what I'm doing and this is what I enjoy. So please reach out to me if you have any questions or if there's anything you need. All right. I'm excited to get started. And yeah, we'll see each other in the discussions.